Hey guys, it's Michael, and today for VEDA Day 8, I'm going to be doing the 7 Deadly Sins book tag, and I'll leave the information on the creator and whatnot. But yeah, let's get started. What is the most inexpensive book? What is your most expensive book? Probably inexpensive, like I said on one of my previous tags. I buy a lot of books on Goodwill, so I do get them pretty cheap, but the one that I chose that's compared to the actual price and then the price that I got it for would probably have to be The Invention of Hugo Cabaret. And this book is normally $25, which is really expensive for a children's book. But I bought this book for $1. Yay! So that was pretty nice. It's in really good conditions too. Probably my most expensive books are all my Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire books, just because I want them in hardback all the time, because I want them all to match. And so this one retails for normally $35, but when I do buy them, I use coupons, and so they do go down a bit, but they're still pretty expensive. So yeah. Alright, next is Wrath. What author do you have a love-hate relationship with? And for this, I chose James Dashner of The Maze Runner, because while I like the book, I also don't like the book, especially the series, especially the last book, and the prequel, of which I didn't even finish because I was seriously mad. Yeah, the ending of the series in the third book, The Death Cure, was just so frustrating. It's just, oh, but yeah, I mean, what I like about it is just the premise, especially the beginning of the series. It's just really good, but then it just, yeah, so, yeah. As I was editing the video, I realized I forgot one of the sins, which is gluttony. And which book have you read devourously over and over again with no shame whatsoever? And for this, I'm going to choose The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because it's one of my favorite stories. I read this book all the time, so yeah. Sloth, what book have you neglected reading due to laziness? And for this, I chose Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And I just never finished it. I mean, I only got to page... I only got to page 82, so, I mean, I was close to the 100th mark. Usually, at the 100th page, if I'm just not feeling it, I'll stop it, because I don't want to push myself to read a bad book, but something about this book I just didn't like. It might have just been the character. I mean, the writing was fine, but I think it was the main character was just giving me grievance. I just found her annoying, kinda. But yeah. The next one is, what book do you most talk about in order to sound like a very intellectual reader? To me, this, yeah, I feel like if you read any books, I feel like for this I just chose The Great Gatsby, but in my opinion, if you choose any classic, it could really work for this, but I just choose this randomly from my bookshelf. But by F. Scott Fitzgerald, but yeah, I love this book. I reread it quite frequently just because it's also short too. And the writing's incredible. Oh, so good. What attributes do you find attractive in male and female characters? Probably, you know what I love? I love flawed characters. I love reading about characters that isn't perfect. They revel in that quirkiness and that sense that they themselves are who they are and they don't care essentially who they are. I just love reading about especially characters that have a growth. It could be male or female, it doesn't matter, but it just have a growth in them that changes who they are. They just become a better person in general. I love reading about those type of characters. Those are my favorite ones. What books would you most likely to receive as a gift as for envy? And I mean, this is the... Actually, I want to receive the whole collection of the Harry Potter, just because I don't have any of the books. They would be I mean, I've read them, but just borrowed them from the library, and borrow them from friends, but I just want to have it for myself. So even hardback or soft cover at this point, any would be fine in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I would like to get. So yeah, that's the seven deadly. Ooh. This is seven deadly sins book tag, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow. Bye.